Hello, family Gaff. Today I am from Ojai, California. This is 1 hour from Los Angeles, and today I am with my friend Chipoi Lou.
How you going,
Hey,
Rock?
man.
What's going on, man?
Right, Chippy, where are you from?
I'm from Melbourne, Australia.
From Australia?
Yeah.
And do you know what is the population in your country?
Ooh, I think it's supposed to be around 21 million.
21 million.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And do you know uh, what is the population in the world?
It's supposed to be around over 7 billion.
7 billion.
Supposedly,
Okay,
yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
That answer before. All right, and let's go to talk about overpopulation.
Uh-huh.
Do you think there is overpopulation in the world?
Generally speaking, from just what I understand about the world and how things are run, and there's so much misinformation and corrupted data, and we only got supposed official sources to go off. I don't believe it's. Yeah, if they're telling us it's the issue, I don't believe it is. And I'm kind of go deeper with these things, but I don't believe that we're as overpopulated as they say generally. Now, there's caveats to that. I think some countries have experienced a whole lot more population growth than others, and that may be a thing contributing to it. And there's certain kind of countries that are. That's I think population has generally increased, but even then we don't even know the true figures. Even like China's true numbers are cast into doubt.
Right, so there is an overpopulation, but not generalized.
I wouldn't call it overpopulation. I would have called it a larger population increase in certain countries, probably due to improving economic factors or whatever. For the most part, India I'm still very unsure of. India is the one where it's like I was reading about that. It all depends. It's very hard to be. It's expensive to live in cold countries. And that's why Asia has a large population, is because it's got to do with like the climate, and it's like you can sleep outside most years round. You don't need. Like I've just been through Canada, and it's like you have to burn stuff and need it. Like just a large part of your monthly budget on whatever is towards heating. Like as an Australian, I'm just like, what? Like it's literally heating, food.
Yeah.
And maybe not food because of heating. Like, so they're the extreme environments, so you can't, it's hard to have that kind of growth in those things naturally, but in the right environments, naturally, you can obviously have an abundance of stuff, so you have more, more people surviving, more people, stuff like that. So I think there's been a population increase in certain countries, but I don't think generally and globally, as they say, speaking, I don't think it's, I don't think it's an issue as much as what we think,
So there is no globally overpopulation, but it is increasing in some places.
Yeah, I would say, and decreasing in a lot of others. You got to know that as well. Like straight up, there's like Japan's had negative birth rates. Australia did until it had the baby bonus.
Yeah.
Paying or like so in the West. Yeah, we've got an issue, and but I think there's so many other factors going on. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
There's so many other things.
Not...
See, when we talk about this, it's just part of the greater matrix of BS. That it's just another thing. Tell us we're overpopulated. Get us comfortable with them just exterminate us or get rid. They wanna that's just part. Like it's just a little psyop.
Yeah,
well.
neither black nor white.
Yeah.
Like a contrast of colors.
Yeah. And so but.
All right, and do you think government should start campaigns to control the number of people on those countries?
Like I said, the only one that would concerns me as far as population growth and getting out of hand and all whatever that brings is India. It's all on India. Like China, India, I don't think could roll out a one-child policy like like in China. I just don't think that's not the way that country works.
Yeah.
It's very different, and different culture, different things. So, yeah. Look, they probably already are. Chances they are. Who knows? There's already been, there's like a lot of, there's a lot of, there's been claims of sterilisation things done in supposedly India and stuff like that. But who knows what? Like, you never know. So yeah, but it comes with education, and it comes with, but there's lots of cultural and religious aspects why families would have larger, more kids, and yeah. So.
And well,
What?
how many children do you think is a good number by family?
Well, they say like you have one for mum, one for dad.
Yeah.
And then there was this saying we had a finance minister in Australia. There was a saying, one for mum, one for dad, and one for Mr. Costello, he was the finance minister. So one for the economy, almost one for, because he was the tax man, the finance into
Right. Yeah.
Australia.
For working.
So yeah, for
man.
working, paying tax. Yeah.
Okay.
So one to replace mum, one to replace dad, and one for the state, almost, as a way of breaking it down.
Yes, but it's stride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like again, certain ethnicities and certain cultures aren't, like Germany. Ethnic Germany is not replacing itself, and will become a minority in its country within 20 years.
Germany is decreasing.
Yeah.
its
Well,
population.
ethnic Germans, yes, and they will be a minority in their own country within 20 years or less, due to the mass immigration rates, and that's another thing that ties into this as well. Is all that stuff. And, as far as the West see it, people in the West, we just see these countries just exploding with people. That's the mindset they set, exploding, and like they're all just going to fucking trample us and come over,
Yeah.
That's basically, and yeah, that's I think part of the psychology thing behind it, it plays into that. But, yeah. And yeah, so
All right. What suggestion do you have to control that possible problem of
overpopulation?
Yeah.
Well, obviously people have babies irresponsibly all over the world. It doesn't just it happens everywhere, and that's a thing in general. You got to be responsible and be a fully realized person, an adult, and know you're in a good financial position in a good relationship with someone that is sustainable before you bring life into the world. And most people aren't realized enough to understand what they're doing. Just because you can do it and it's your biological right doesn't mean you can just do it willy-nilly. There's consequences for these things, and taking children in this, like, it's just I'm coming from a Western perspective. Obviously, raising kids in this world can be very difficult, because there's so many bad influences. Myself, if I ever had children, I would homeschool them. So I'm not going to have them in that thing, and they're not going to, and they're not going to be vaccinated for that reason too. I don't want to get that out there. The vaccines are a big, part of a lot of issues as well. I think about all that stuff, so I'm always thinking about it. So this is just, when you speak to me, it's almost like The Rock has pulled me out and just gone, yo, what do you think of this? And that's all you can do. Like, I haven't prepared for this. I haven't researched anything. I just, this is something I just...
But that's the idea of the interview. It's just to observe what is the thoughts of people from different places of the world. Yeah, it's not just as to make just one side or take one point of view. It's to see that people can think different. Yes, has their own ideas. And that's the idea. In a general.
There's a whole lot going on that, like in the West, people aren't just concerned about that. There's so many stuff going on that it just, but we just see our countries growing. I don't want to see Australia get big population. Like, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. We're not a country that can support a big population. It's like those, I just don't. it's not a viable thing, and and it's like too many people. Australia's the most urbanised country in the world.
Yeah.
Urbanised meaning it has the most amount of people of its population living in major town centres, cities, obviously cities. Australia, the two biggest cities are Melbourne and Sydney, with nearly half the population combined of them. And then the rest is divvied up between the other capital cities, and then you got a little bit that it's divvied up in the whole of the rural area. But what you've got to understand with Australia, people look at it and go, oh, you're a big country. But you take a cookie cutter and make it a bit smaller and stamp it in Australia, you almost got to take out all that middle bit.
Yeah.
It's just desert. It's like you can't do anything with it, Sure, it might give you some iron ore, but it's not agricultural, and you can't live there. And nothing, like water is scarce, like it's not...
It's a wild place.
Yeah, it's a harsh place. Like that's why Australia is mostly a harsh place. And that's why we all flocked to a few cities, because it was like, it's just, yeah. And it's been so sparsely populated initially that all the effort was spent on the cities, because that's just, and we have some great cities, but like I've grown up in Melbourne, and Melbourne's population has grown. So you've got to understand, I'm someone that has seen population personally increase in my country, in my city. And I still hold the view that it's not generally as big as they're saying, but it is increasing, and we have seen it. I've seen Melbourne explode, just absolutely take off, not only from all the, immigration, but from, within Australia as well. People leave in other cities and just heading to Melbourne, and it's just, so yeah, that is real population growth I've seen with my eyes, but then again, there's now less people living in the rural areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's country towns that are empty and dead, that are gone. You know what I mean? Or there's things nowhere near as vibrant.
Yeah, if there is a good place, all the people is going to live there. That doesn't mean there is overpopulation.
Sorry.
Yeah, if there is a good place to live, like a city, and all the people want to go there. But it doesn't mean there is overpopulation, because
what are you going to define it by? In a city like Melbourne, it can very much get overpopulated because we have an infrastructure network. We have roads, we have cars, we have public transport, trains, trams, buses. That has a capacity, and that comes with government funding and stuff. So once your population increases, that's been a big problem in Melbourne. The infrastructure hasn't kept up.
Exactly, and the places where they come from, their population is decreasing because they migrate to the big cities.
Well, who knows? Well, the big cities in their own countries, yes.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in China anyway. That's happening all over the world. But whether you're specifically talking about the West, But I don't think. I honestly do think. Yeah. So I don't think there's truth to there. I would conclude that I don't think there's truth to a lot of the overpopulation stuff, but I do think there is certainly increase in population, in certain countries. Now there's a thought that the Earth's population doesn't really ever change, or it naturally keeps it. Like there's some, like if it gets too bad, all these people die of freak accidents or heart attacks. So the universe or the powers that be or whatever, could even it out, balance it out. So who knows? Who knows? It's hard to tell. Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for your visit. Yeah, it's a pleasure for me and for my friends in Colombia, GAP School.
Awesome.
I hope you're okay, and my biggest gratitude for you, man.
Thank you
for being here in
Thanks
this
for the
interview.
interview. No worries, mate.
Thank you very much. Keep studying on GAP School.